from Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds, and today I'm hanging with a bunch of Nerdarchy fans. This is our monthly fan game. We'll be playing some 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. It's a 12th level game that's taking place in the city of Frosthaven. It is kind of like our almost like our Londonish, gaslit, dirty kind of city. It's run by steam power, and it's probably one of the more technologically advanced areas we have in our Chimes of Discordian setting. The city itself falls in is affectionately referred to as the Cauldron. It is our Arctic region, but this particular area is actually heated by hot springs and thermal vents, and there's also some volcanic activity that goes on underneath of the city. But the brave and resilient residents of Frosthaven have been able to harness the power of these geothermals in order to kind of power their city and use it. So it's the inside the cauldron itself stays relatively warm, and the city is a bit on the corrupt side and run by bureaucrats, and tends to run on the dark and gritty side of things for our world, and it's kind of like a dirty place to live. So with that, if you guys want to go around, introduce yourself and the character you'll be playing.
Hello, I'm Trevor Hoby. I'll be playing Brahmer Heltic today, a very stocky and mighty dwarf fighter with one very large axe.
I am Xenos, or Stuart. I've lived down in Australia, world of upside downness and death and destruction. I am playing Ophelia Silo. She is a warlock. She is certainly an interesting character, given she will be a bit of an entertainer in storytelling, but always trying to spread rumors. She's found that younger races have a way of doing things and finding things out, and she will follow them, get them to do her dirty work.
My name is John. I am running a Paleosorc Thragar, and I am seeking to preserve a text that to others seem vertical, but not exactly sure where the text is, so I hope I can.
Excellent. So we're going to jump right into the action, and the three of you find yourself sitting in the posh office of one banker, Jacob Moondark of Moondark and Associates. He's kind of summoned the three of you in order to help him with a little problem. He's hiring adventurers or those with extraordinary means in order to get a job done for him. Welcome, gentlemen and lady. Thanks for coming and answering my call. Jacob is a rather large, a little bit on the robust side figure. He's well dressed in what would be your classic banker attire. He's got the double-breasted vest, and he's wearing a nice pressed shirt underneath with a collar, as well as the jacket over top. He's got a bolo-style tie that he's wearing. He has a hat that sits right between two sets of very large curling ram horns. And right now he is partaking in a cigarette that he's smoking out of a gold and ivory cigarette holder. And that cigarette holder is actually being held in a prehensile tail. It doesn't take long to figure out that clearly this figure is the descendants of either abyssal or infernal creatures in his past. Clearly a tiefling stands before you, Jacob Moondark. So I assume you're wondering what has prompted me to bring you lads and lady to my office. I'm going to kind of cut to the chase. My son Liam is missing, and I wish him returned to me.
It can be done.
A fairly simple task.
For the right price.
Well, I am hoping so, and I'm also willing to pay generously, for he is my only son, and I wish him returned to me.
Okay.
Can you give us any clues behind his disappearance? Any information? Where he was last seen?
Do you have any enemies?
Well, I am a wealthy man here in Frosthaven, and of course, there is always those who are going to be jealous of what others have. So that list, unfortunately, might be a little bit long. And also, I run the bank here, and occasionally, people do not feel obligated to fulfill their duties and their obligations. So, wrongly accused, but yeah, there are people that have been known to dislike like the Moondarks. But that being said, I do have a list of several places where he's known to hang out. Unfortunately, my son can be a bit of a layabout. He does not quite follow in my footsteps. He'd rather loaf around and reap the benefits of my hard work.
Ah.
There is a tavern that he's often been seen at drinking and carousing, and that is the dancing imps, as well as he's been known to frequent some of the gambling halls, which we have several of here in Frosthaven. So that one is a little bit trickier because you never know which one he's going to be at.
Okay. So I would assume that we should go to the dancing ups first.
A good place to find leads.
I agree.
So you guys, head out into the street, and it's mid-afternoon. The sun is starting to starting to lower in the sky, and as it reflects and plays oddly on the ground as the rays of sunlight pass through some of the gaslit lanterns that hang from the streets, refracting. The place is kind of gritty and dirty. There's people hustling about and bustling, going about their day. It doesn't take you long to find your way to the dancing imps. As you enter, it's basically what you expect. You have the normal crowd that would be here at this time. The one thing about Frosthaven, you find people from all walks of life here. They don't really seem particularly discriminate about who comes and goes, and as such, you can see that in this tavern. As you come in, there's a dwarven bouncer with a shaved head and braided beard. He's missing one eye, which has been replaced with a dark orb of glass. The other green eye kind of like look you up and down as he comes through. He's got a heavy cudgel sitting by his side. Just kind of as you come in, and gives you kind of a look and a scowl. There are serving men and women bustling about with heavy trays full of food and liquor. Behind the bar is an older woman with graying hair. It wears a braid on either side. She seems to be in her later years, but quite healthy. And right now she's waiting on some customers. What is it you gentlemen would like to do?
I'm gonna try getting her attention.
So she sees you when you try and get her attention, and she's finishing up with another customer. Be right there, dearie. Give me a second. I see you. Hold your horses. And with that, she comes over. What can I get you, lads and lass?
Ask her for some information about a missing person.
Which person are you looking for?
I tell her who we are looking for.
Okay, Liam Moondark.
Okay.
I am totally writing down names now.
Yeah.
Oh, that pretentious bastard.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I've seen him before. You say he's missing?
Yes.
Well, you know,
Ah, that is perfect. Give me a moment, sorry.
it's all right. Well, you know, the Moondarks own much in here in Frosthaven. For him to disappear, I don't think it'd be a super great loss.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we're being paid to find him.
And we would much appreciate
Someone else's gain is our loss.
Well, that I can empathize with. So, speaking of gain, she kind of starts like beating around the bush, trying to, I think I saw him in here. Oh, was it today? Was it yesterday? Who was he with? Oh, dearie, my mind, it begins to wander as I get older.
Age.
Perhaps this small pouch of gold pieces would help as I set it down on the table.
Ah, yes. Good lad there. That's clearing things right up for me. Now I remember. Yes, he was in here. He was in here not but 2 days ago with those ruffians and layabouts that he's always hanging with. One of them, I believe, goes by the name of Match, and the other one, Skunk.
Match and Skunk.
Yeah, a lot of times they kind of just follow him around and hang on, and he usually pays the tab for him. So,
Good friend.
Yeah, I guess. What were you saying, Trevor?
What kind of business do you think he would have with these not so friendly types?
Business? I don't think that one does any business at all. I think he's just kind of a layabout and lives off the laurels of his father. And they're just hanger-ons. They just hang out for the free booze.
Good men.
But like I said, they were in here not 2 days ago. I think, where is that place? I heard them talking, and you can see that she's trying to reach through her memory and come up with it. This time you don't get the feel that she's shaking you down at all. Yes. The Lucky Lady is where they like to go, where they like to spend coin gambling.
Ask her where would that be located from here.
If you've spent any time here in Frosthaven, you would just know, or she gives you directions. Which you could find easy enough. No worries.
Okay.
Yeah, if anyone would know where he would be, I would think it would be Match and Skunk for sure.
All right, I think we should find these two lovely gentlemen.
I agree.
So you guys begin kind of like asking around. What kind of skill sets do you guys have?
Ooh, good question. I have athletics,
Persuasion.
insight, perception, and intimidation.
Deception, intimidation, persuasion, performance, and stealth.
I have athletics, history, insight, and intimidation.
Okay. And which backgrounds did you guys go with?
Acolyte.
Soldier.
Entertainer, technically.
Okay. So, I would say, Xenos, your character is going to have some pretty good insights when it comes to the gambling halls and different taverns, just from being an entertainer, from being a performer. As well, will you, Trevor, from being a soldier. So even if you were one to partake yourself, some of your comrades would have been. So, with that, you guys can kind of start getting a picture and a feel for this Liam character is a bit of a lazy loafer and just has gathered people around him to just kind of be like his yes men. So with that, are you guys going to head over to the Lucky Lady?
Yes, I think that would be most appropriate.
I will agree because I missed most of the previous conversation. Yay, perfect timing calls from work.
Yeah. So you're heading, you're heading that way, and many of the like gambling halls are kind of along the same street. You pass the Wheel and Woe and the Scary Goblin before you get to Lucky Lady. And again, you go through the doors, and it's very saloon style. But in front of you, there's all kinds of tables with dice are being chucked, wheels with balls are being spun, card games are being played before you, and it's just a ruckus of sound and sight as you enter. Again, there's a doorman at this place. He's actually wearing a suit. Doesn't appear to have any visible weaponry on him. It's a human with a bald pate and well dressed. And you look, with a quick glance, you can see the scars crisscrossing his knuckles. And even though he's not armed, it appears like he seems quite capable. At a second glance, you see his nose has probably been broken multiple times. And as you kind of like look around, you also see an elven woman kind of gliding through the crowds. You're all pretty experienced and been around the block, and you can tell that she's not one of the clientele. That she seems to be working, and I'm going to say with a soldier background. You're going to guess that she's probably part of some kind of security detail, but even still, she's dressed in a fine gown. And she seems more interested in the players than the tables or the people working. What is it you guys would like to do?
I'm gonna go to the. There's a bar, I assume, right?
There is. Yep, absolutely.
Go talk to the bartender and ask them if they've seen him recently.
Okay, so you find a bartender, and this time it is a gnome working behind the bar, and the bar comes up to like his waist, so clearly there must be something rigged up in the back, and there's also like all kinds of bottles of liquor and booze on shelves behind it, and there's like a ladder that seems to be on pulleys or wheels, so it can slide back and forth. And he looks at you when you come over, and who are you looking for?
Liam Murdoch.
Yes. I tell him. I'm sorry. I'm crap with names, but I tell him that we're looking for the guy's son.
Okay, that's fine. And what might you be looking for him for? I mean, we have a lot of people that come in and out of here.
He went missing, and so we're trying to find him to bring him back to his father.
Ah, I see. Yeah, he was in here the other day. And he kind of looks around, and he points over to a table where cards are being played. And there you see, one fellow seems to be kind of like a little overweight and short, and he's got a head full of dark hair with a white streak that kind of runs down the middle. And standing next to him is another fellow that is whipped thin and super tall. Both of them are a little underdressed for this place. You may be a little bit surprised that they're even in here. They're both humans. He says those gents over there, they're usually hanging out with him.
Oh.
I tell him thank you, and I try to find Xenos to inform them.
Can I get you something to drink while you're here?
I tell him no thanks.
Actually, Ophelia would ask for a simple glass of wine.
So he pours you a glass of wine and charges you a silver.
Oh, do I have sound? I think on my headphones.
Not sure.
Nope, I have sound.
I think I could quench my thirst with a nice mug of ale, if you would.
So yeah, so he pours you the perfect tankard of ale.
Oof.
And you can see that he takes pride in his craft, and he's poured more than a few, and he does it pretty thoughtless and effortlessly, and slides it down to you.
I grab it and I gladly pay him for his service.
So, with that, you guys wanted beverages, have them, and what are you guys doing now?
I think we should sit for a bit and watch those two fellows, just to see what kind of demeanor they have.
Okay. I just pull a chair over and just sit.
Okay, so you're watching them. They're playing cards. They play for a while. They're up. They're down. You can see them kind of arguing with each other occasionally, and then and then after watching for a while, and they play one final hand, and it doesn't take an insight check to see from here that they clearly lost a decent amount on that hand, and they're kind of arguing with the with the guy running the table, with the dealer, and it apparently doesn't go their way. Finally, they kind of get up and in a huff and begin walking away from the table. And you can see that they're kind of heatedly talking to each other, almost like they're arguing, but you're not. They don't seem particularly hostile towards each other.
Could I make a perception check to see if I can to tell if I can hear what they're saying? Try to zoom in.
Actually, Ophelia would simply move up closer to try and pick up on their conversation. If they're moving away, you should be trailing in their footsteps.
Okay, so as you do that, and it would have been too loud to hear in her anyway. It's just a din of noise. If you've ever been in a casino, so as you do that, you're kind of following behind, and you see clearly they're arguing about this would have never happened if Liam was here. I can't believe that we always run his tab. How dare he dispute that? Wait till Liam gets back. He's going to get what for. Take our business elsewhere. So clearly you get this jive that they're arguing about, they've been gambling on Liam's tab, probably drinking as well, and they're angry because they got cut off.
So it sounds like they're not quite aware that Liam's get back. They have an idea where he's gone. Ophelia would attempt to move up on behind them and try and get their attention with a light tap upon one of their shoulders.
Okay, as you do that, you guys are standing under one of the gilded cages that this place is known for, and in the cage is an illusionary lady dancing, and there's several of these set out amongst the hanging in the room, and there's women and men dancing in these cages, except for their clearly illusions, and the cages are small, only a couple feet tall, so they're little people basically dancing. So you tap them on the shoulder, and they seem a little startled at first, and then they turn around and begin straightening up and fixing their clothes. Skunk begins. You're guessing the one that's named Skunk as the shorter one begins slicking back his hair real quick. Hey, honey, what do you want? Says Match, the taller one.
I couldn't help but notice your conversation. You seem to have an idea where Liam Moondark has disappeared off to. For a little bit of coin, might you be able to tell me where he's gone?
Disappeared? I mean, we haven't seen him in a day or so.
Yes, well, he's gone missing. Missing enough for his dear old father to hire help to find him.
And then Skunk nudges Match. Did you say coin?
I did, but only if your information is good.
Well, we might have some ideas.
Do tell.
Well, lately, his fancy's been stricken by this woman, Shannara.
And you think he is currently spending far too much time with her, then?
Well, I don't know about far too much, but he's been hanging out with her, and they kind of look around as if checking to see if anyone's listening. You said something about gold, right?
I did say something about gold. You
And
can
they
go back
seem
to gambling and purchasing a little bit more.
They seem a little nervous now. How much gold?
Would I be able to hazard a guess to how much they are actually gambling, or?
Yeah, sure. Give me an insight check.
Insight is wisdom, which is +2. I got a 19.
Okay. Yeah, just from the observation you've been making, they've easily lost probably like 25 gold. But they were doing all kind of like small bets, so it took them a while to run through that.
I probably should have asked this question earlier. Ophelia dips her hand into a little coin purse and seems to pick out 10 gold pieces. Will this suffice? Something to get your luck running again?
So they kind of look at it, and you see them. You see each of them kind of like the greed glint in their eyes, and they lick their lips. Sure. They look around again. We think. Well, he doesn't really like to talk about it. I don't know if we should say anything. Could be kind of touchy. This information, the situation. His dad would not be happy. I don't think
we needn't disclose where we got him from. Only that we returned him.
Well, Liam's been going to the Undercity. He's been a little upset and depressed.
Is this a bad time to mention that my character is a drow?
Nah, not in this place. It doesn't really matter.
I forgot to mention that at the beginning, but that just seems like perfect timing. Oh, the Undercity. So he's taken with a woman from down there, then.
We're guessing. I mean, he hasn't told us too much, but like I said, he's been kind of upset and depressed, and he's been looking for ways to get him better with his dad. And so one of the things Jacob Moondark would have expressed was he would have given you a description of his son, and his son is a human. He doesn't carry any of the tiefling features. And also, as you guys have been in Frosthaven for a little bit, you've probably seen an above average number of tieflings roaming around this place. Yeah, it really bugs him that it's, I don't know, sometimes it skips a generation, I guess. He just doesn't look like his dad.
Oh dear, this could be problematic. Either way, it's with at least a lead. She would split the 10 gold into 2 piles of 5 and offer one to each of the gentlemen. And before handing out across goes, do you know the direction he went to reach the Undercity?
Well, I think he always heads over on the west side. That's where he usually goes in from. I mean, there's different places where you can get into the Undercity, but most normal folks stay away from there. Could be a little dangerous.
I'm aware. She would let go of the gold if they were going to accept it.
Oh yeah, they're absolutely going to take your gold.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now, just one final question. What can you tell me about this Shannara?
Shannara? Well, personally, we think she's after Liam's money. She looks to be a little bit above his weight class, if you know what I mean.
She gives a faint nod.
And yeah, she's a dark-haired beauty, and she always dresses really provocatively, and she just kind of seems to hang on Liam's every word. But we think it's kind of an act. I think that one's far cleverer than she lets on.
Thank you for your time. Do enjoy yourselves.
Oh, I'm sure we will. Thanks. We hope you find Liam.
So you can start spending his tab again, I'm sure. And with that, she leaves.
They seem far less offended by that than you think they should be.
It was a passing comment, not an actual insult. Take it how they will. Either way, I head back to the other two I'm currently working with and explain what I found, that Liam is known to now frequent the Undercity alongside a Shannara, who is a dark-haired beauty. So, and also it's probably an act, so more than likely some foul play has happened, either in his pursuit of short-term power, long-term gain, or some other situations that could have arisen.
Well, that narrows down the list of people.
Yes. Only to the entire populace of the Underdark.
That's it.
At least we have a location now.
Well, if you guys spend some time like asking around, it does take a little bit of time, and you have to kind of direct your questioning towards specific elements of the city. But you do find it. It's not general knowledge of the Undercity and how to enter there, and you do get a little bit of information. It makes the seedier side of the city above look pleasant almost. And you also hear rumors that it's actually ruled by dark powers.
I am going to get along wonderfully.
And also you do get a combination of, stories where like that's not true, it doesn't exist, that's a myth, urban urban myth, that kind of stuff. But after you sift through, you guys probably are figuring that those stories had to come from somewheres.
Yeah. The stories always come from somewhere.
So, after a little bit of searching and questioning, you do find the entrance, and you believe it's got to be either the entrance or one of the ones closer to where they said you could find it. And it's actually, it's a warehouse, and that, standing outside there's kind of someone on watch who I think you guys are probably able to pick them out as being, being of the criminal element. They kind of remind you. They seem a little bit out of place as far as someone just like kind of hanging out on the corner. And, as you guys kind of come up, they kind of catch your eye and give you like a nod of their head. You folks look like you're on a mission.
You could mention that.
You know, as you get closer, you realize it's a human female, kind of dressed in like dirty clothes that are kind of, and she's kind of, it looks like she's intentionally like roughed herself up a little bit. And you know, if you have to get pretty close before you even realize that it's a woman and not a man in those clothes. She's got a bit of a Cockney accent, which I suck at accents, so I won't not be attempting. You'd be looking for something, are you?
And someone.
Well, I don't really deal in someones, but I can show you the way. No one comes down this alley by accident.
Rygar says that would be appreciated.
Well, there's a small smattering of the matter of the toll. Two silver a head.
Seems like a fair price.
Could I roll an insight to see if she's just trying to get some money out of us?
Sure.
I got a 12.
You absolutely believe she's trying to get money out of you.
Yeah, I thought so.
But that being said, she may or may not be able to tell you exactly where you want to go. So she's like, she's holding a hand out, but close to her body, so they probably passerbys wouldn't be able to see. And so,
I without hesitation flip her 2 coins.
I feel he would pause for 1 silver. 1 silver now, 1 silver when you show us the way.
I can live with that.
So that just leaves Trevor. Is Trevor handing over his coin to?
I think I'll hand over my 2 pieces, yes.
So she leads you down the alleyway and then goes to a boarded up door. And reaches between the boards and reaches for a doorknob, grabs it, pulls it, and the door opens with all the boards attached to it. And right this way, she leads you in. It's a dimly lit, what appears to be abandoned warehouse. And she heads towards a large stack of crates. And when she gets over to it, she goes passes it to the wall, and on it is a sconce, and she pulls it down, and there's a slight whoosh sound as the boxes and stuff just kind of slide across the floor just above it, out of the way, revealing a stairwell leading down, a spiral stairwell. And she puts out a hand once again.
I pay the 2nd silver piece.
When you come back this way, there's a lever at the top of this stairwell you'll be able to use to get out.
Much obliged. Thank you for your assistance.
Yep, just trying to earn an honest day's wage. And you actually, if you look down the hole, you can see like a glowing reddish light. It's got some hues of orange and yellow too, flickering down at the bottom.
Torchlight, more than likely, yes.
Right, more than likely. She giggles and heads off.
Oh, in that case, I cast detect magic.
You know what? There is a faint, like, ambient magic in the air.
Oh, fun.
It's slightly stronger down below.
I'm closer to the source, more than likely. She says nothing of this and just starts to continue down.
So as you walk down the spiral staircase, you quickly see the source of the light. There's a river of magma and lava, kind of flowing off to the side of the tunnel.
Very exciting.
I nod at it.
It's a bit warmer down here.
I passed by without a second glance.
And actually, scrawled kind of like scrawled crudely on the wall, and it almost looks like someone etched it with something sharp or jagged, and it is an arrow, and it's like this way to Undertown.
Huh.
Let's go see what our friend Liam has gotten himself wrapped up in.
So as you travel for a little ways, the dwarf realizes that the tunnel is actually sloping downwards, gently, so taking you further away from the surface. Every once in a while, you see these vents that seem to that actually would lead up to the upper city, carved in the stone. They're too perfect to have just been accidents. And after walking for about an hour or so, the cavern opens up and expands. You've since left the river of magma behind. And every once in a while you would pass like steam vents and things like that, and you've had to jump out of the way and keep from being scalded. At some point or another, you may have even gotten scalded. Nothing too severe. Once you knew what to look for, it was easy enough to avoid them. But what you see before you now looks to be a mockery of the city above. And there seems to be a bustle of traffic, many different races. But one of the things you begin picking out quickly that you didn't see so much above would be that which the tieflings seem to be descended of. You see devilish figures of all shapes and varieties down here.
Ooh, fun.
I just kind of keep my guard up.
So no one seems to pay particular attention to you guys as you kind of come in. There's at the entranceway there appears to be a guard. At first you just see the armor and helmet and the spear resting against their shoulder. As you get closer, you see some of the light reflecting off their skin, which is like pitch black. You see the yellow eyes and the overly sharp canines and little horns poking out through holes that have clearly been cut into the helm. At first, they look like they might have just been part of the helm. So he kind of just grunts and nods to you.
Where to begin a search for a missing person? Someone that was more than likely being seduced by a succubus at this rate, if what I can tell is clear. Ideas, thoughts, leads.
You have a wide city before you to investigate.
A wide city. Like any good city, you got to start at the end, the tavern. Get the leads.
As you begin walking deeper into the city, a carriage drawn by a jet black horse, kind of rumbles by. And sitting in the seat is a fat, squat, devil-like creature with bat wings ears that look like bat wings, and he's like whipping the horse. He's chewing on a stogie as he does such, and just kind of rumbles by. It's just part of the weirdness that seems to exist down here. Doesn't take you long to find a tavern. And outside the tavern on the sign is a goblin kind of like lounging on like a sofa with this huge pot belly, and it's just called the Fat Goblin Inn.
Well, I guess we head on inside.
So you're about to go in. A figure in a long cloak with a hood up kind of comes stumbling in your direction, Hey, buddy, you got a match?
I have no matches on me, no.
Well then, how about that person? He reaches for your pouch.
She would step out of arm's reach.
Okay, roll initiative to see if you get away faster than it can reach for you.
Oh, I can roll on the table. That'd be great. Oh, natural 20.
Not a natural 20. What are the other two of you doing?
I'm gonna try grabbing the guy.
I'd like to step in front of the man and separate him from what he just reached for.
And Zenos?
She would be pulling her cloak properly around to tuck away the purse.
What
hide it from view.
What are your passive perceptions?
Let's see. My perception is 16.
Mine is 12.
10.
Okay.
That's just your perception bonus plus 10, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then,
So,
16 for me.
so as you kind of draw your cloak around you to hide your purse, you see another fellow dressed similarly, coming from the other side. And as his hand reaches, that's when you see that it's covered in kind of like gray-green scales, and because he's closer now, you can see the long beard kind of like underneath his cloak, and it's very like bristly and wire-like. Let me have the other two make a initiative check as well.
All right.
Ooh, +0. That is a 13.
Ooh, mine's much worse. Mine is 2 + 1, so 3.
Oh.
Not a very fast-moving dwarf.
Well, if we're being flanked from either side, would I be going first then?
The 20's going first.
The 20 is going first. Marvelous. I would conjure up an Eldritch Blast, or in this case, how many Eldritch Blasts do I have at level 12?
That has got to be 2 or 3. That's probably 3.
I think it is 3. Let me just double check that. Dominate, ensnaring, control. Eldritch Blast. Yeah, 3 beams at this level. For the one that is coming up from behind to try and flank us, I will shoot one at him, and the other 2 will be the one that's directly in front of us.
John, what was your initiative? You said you rolled a 20, right?
No, I was through a 13.
Oh, okay.
I had the 20.
You had the 20. Okay, my bad.
That's right.
Okay, so Eldritch Blast.
Yep. Let's see. One second. Let me move my keyboard back a bit so I have more room to actually roll. Now, I will not be using my rods because I'm not currently wielding them, so just the natural 4 plus proficiency. It's 8. 8 plus to the roll. Rightio. For the one hitting the one flanking, 13 plus 8, 21.
Oh, that will absolutely hit.
Then I have an 18 plus 8, 26 on the one trying to go for the purse. And then only an 11 for the second one against the purse.
Alright, so the 11's going to miss.
I had a feeling. D10. Where's my D10 die? There's my D10. For the that's 6 damage against the flanking, and
Okay.
also push back 10 feet. And then 11 damage against the purse, push back 10 feet.
Okay, so I guess you kind of like step between them and just like let loose with your Eldritch Blast, pushing them both back away 10 feet. They kind of hiss, and their cloaks get pushed out wide, and you can see they're pulling out weapons. They're drawing weapons from beneath them, and you're not even sure how they hid them, but they had these large military forks.
Oh.
That they pull out, and they seem to kind of expand as they do.
I would like to try. Would I be able to try and intimidate them to back off?
Let's see. You can make an intimidation check, but one of the things you notice now is there is a third figure headed in your direction, also with a cowl pulled low and a cloak, and one of the gloved hands is kind of sticking out and holding appears to be chains that are wrapped around these two dogs with like reddish brown fur. And you can kind of see like wisps of smoke coming out of their nose and the red eyes.
Oh, this is gonna go marvelously. One second. My intimidation. Do I have proficiency in that? Yes, I do. So plus 8 to 18, 26.
Wow, 26. That's a good roll. The two that you blasted, they are definitely for the next round. They're frightened, so they won't approach you, and they'll have disadvantage if they make attacks.
Marvelous. Basically the intimidation that I'm going for is she has just blasted them both with the Eldritch Blast and is going, your next course of action will be running away or death.
Okay, and
I guess that ends my turn. Because I don't think I have any bonuses I can do. Not really. Nope.
Okay, so what are you doing, John?
Okay, so what I'm going to try to do at least is hit one of... Actually, yeah, I'm going to hit the guy that I was originally going to go for.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to make an attack roll. That is a 5. That is a no.
Oh, is that a 5 total?
That's a 5 total.
Yeah. He whips that military fork around, and you're still not really sure where that came from. I mean, your party you might not want to know. And blocks. What are you attacking him with?
I'm attacking him with a quarterstaff.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's No, that's it. No, that's it. That's my turn.
Okay, so just the one attack?
Yeah.
So the figure that is like holding the dogs back says, "You can just give us that pouch and we'll be on our way. Or we can just take it off of your corpses." And he kind of flicks his wrist, and the chains that are wrapped around the hounds' necks just kind of retract, and they come barreling forward towards the drow, and the other one towards you, John. And
oh no!
You both can dex save.
Oh no! Oh, that is good. That is a... Oh, wow! Nat 20. Yeah. 24.
So 10 plus 2 plus 1, so 13 for me.
Okay.
I missed the attack, but I make the save.
So, all right. So you both make the saving throw as a gout of fire erupts from their mouths.
They're not playing.
I got lucky.
For 10, 15, 19 points of fire damage. You guys made the save, so you take half.
Okay.
Is that rounded up or rounded down?
Round down. Always down.
Alright, so 9 damage.
And then the other figure that just released the hounds comes plodding over towards the dwarf.
Hey.
No dwarf left behind.
And he's like, you hear a raspy voice. You were given a chance. You could have just walked away without your coin. Now it'll be without your life. And those chains that were wrapped around the dog's neck moments ago kind of lance out. Does a 14 hit?
No, it does not.
So yeah, so you usually bat that away with your enormous axe. What about an 18?
It does not either.
All right, so with ease, your axe just whips out. Those chains clang against the metal on metal. Ting, ting, rings out through the street. Oddly enough, like the traffic on the street has kind of just made a large swath around this fracas, but no one seems to care one way or the other.
As long as it doesn't inconvenience them.
So that brings us to the dwarf.
I'd like to bring my axe back, look at him, and say, "My turn," and go after him, attacking him with my axe, my great axe.
Okay, yeah. As you do that, he kind of calls out, "You lousy no goods! What are you doing? Get him!" Because the devil creatures with the metally beards are kind of like standing back and kind of cowering a little bit, and they're like starting to shake it off. But with that, go ahead and make your attacks.
All right. Be making 3 attacks with my great axe. First one is a 29 to hit.
Oh yeah.
Second one is a 21 to hit.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm using my dice rolling out for when I DM. Then the third one is a 24 to hit.
That would be 3 hits.
All right. I'll roll damage. First one hits for 12.
Okay. Is that axe magic by chance?
It is a +2.
Okay. Perfect.
Yes. The second one hits for 11. And the third hits for 10.
Okay. So total 33. Your axe bites in. Boom, 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 and you can feel like soft metal give way underneath your axe blow with each one of your attacks, and you know you're a hardened veteran of many battles, so you know when you're hitting chains or chainmail, so you feel that underneath of his cloak.
Oh, that's how that works.
And after the hits too, you kind of like knock back his cowl a little bit, and you can see it's like completely wrapped in chains.
Man of culture.
And with that, what is our drow doing?
Pondering the current location of all the enemies. Like, I'm debating about using a cone spell, which may or may not work.
If you decide to use a cone, you could get one of the devils and one of the hounds, or the bearded devils anyway, or you could get the one in chains and the other bearded devil. If you're willing to hit a companion, though, you could get both of the hounds and the chained guy.
Do it.
This is going to be fun. Yeah, considering both the hounds are more of the threat, I do apologize. I will be hitting you with this spell. But before I do that, I will draw out my Rod of the Pact Keeper, just so I can get a little bit more oomph, I do believe. Let me double check to see if that actually adds onto these kind of spells.
Yeah, it will. It adds to the DC or to your attack roll to hit.
Okay. I'm not used to using magic items, I will be honest. Right, well, I am casting Fear. And I will be targeting the 2 hounds and the chain guy, which will also get our lovely dwarven companion, who is being a meat shield. So let's see, the save DC. I haven't even worked that out yet. Oh, help the dope. That's the minimum of 8 plus proficiency plus spellcasting modifier.
Yep.
Workouts. Yep. So 8 plus mod plus that plus 3. They need to make a save of 19 or be feared.
All right. So we've got one fail so far for our for the guy, the chained guy, and now for the doggies. Well, that's a nat 20, so that one will be okay. And the other one is running away. Or will be running away on his turn.
They take the dash action, so get away. Oh, and the dwarf.
Oh,
What
and
do you roll?
What save do I need to make?
19.
Which skill?
Wisdom.
All right, got it. That's a 9 plus 2, so 11. Yep. So I fail.
Oh.
All right.
Just out of curiosity, was it the dog that was attacking me that got the nat 20, or was it the dog attacking the druid that got the nat 20?
Let's see. The one attacking you.
Okay. Passes.
All right. And John, what are you doing?
Let me see. Some are running away. I'm going to. Would I be able to cast Firebolt at one of the hounds?
Okay, you want to cast fire at one of the hounds that just breathe fire?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I didn't like it.
Well, I will say that your character might think that something that breathes fire isn't going to have as much trouble with fire.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna attack. Okay, what I want to do is I'm gonna attack with my quarterstaff again.
Okay.
Trusty quarterstaff. Oh, that is a not nat 20.
Okay, that hits. Crack! Right down on the snout.
And it does 1d6 plus 4 blunt. That is a 6.
Okay. All right. So far, the two devils with beards have been injured. The one in chains has been injured, and one of the hounds has been injured. So almost everyone but one of the hounds has been injured at this point. So the one that passed the saving throw, he is going to breathe once again on you. He's going to give you a cone for a cone, if you would. So give me a dex saving throw.
All of us?
No, just
Okay.
just the drow.
I got 15, so I passed again.
Okay, so you definitely pass. You take half damage. That's going to be 20 points of damage, so you'll take 10.
Ouch.
And give me is that fear spell a concentration spell?
No, it is not.
Okay, perfect. So you don't have to worry about that. And
It just affects the target for up to 1 minute.
okay, so with that, the two that you had intimidated earlier, they kind of shake it off, and they're going to charge you, feeling that you are the greatest threat here. So does they? Does a 12 hit?
No, it does not.
What about a 23?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So it comes in, and it kind of like swings its beard at you.
Well, that's different.
And make a Constitution saving throw. It's a poison saving throw, if that matters.
Well, it hits me, that's for sure. Unless by some miracle I will not pass with a 6.
Yeah, 6 is gonna do. So you're gonna take 7 points of damage as you get beard rash, and you're considered poisoned for 1 minute. And while you're poisoned, you can't regain hit points. You can repeat the saving throw each round. So that's the first one. The second one comes at you well, and a 18. Does that hit?
Yep.
All right. So both of them are going to hit. So you're already poisoned. You can't get poisoned again. But you're going to take another 8 points from the beard rash and. Oh, and make another con save.
Now I got a 3.
Oh, man. So you take 10 from the glaive, and when it cuts you, the wound just begins to kind of like bleed. And it's just a really bad wound, and it kind of like itches and burns at the same time.
Well, I'm down to 19 health.
All right, and our good friend the dwarf is up.
All
He
right.
was running away.
Yes. It's probably still underneath the effect of that fear spell, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
I need to make another saving throw.
Does he get another save?
He can only get another saving throw when he's out of line of sight of me. So take a dash action, run away. Thankfully, I don't think you'll get an attack of opportunity from the chain guy, who also has to run away under the fear.
No, he's also running away. So I'm going to say, you go around you're able to go around a corner. I imagine there's enough alleyways and stuff like that for you to do that, and I feel like that's probably what you would do because you're trying to break line of sight to get away from this guy. I mean, the chain devil and the dog and the hound are going to be doing the same thing, so you can make a saving throw.
All right. I will do that.
The hound is still scared, and so son of a bitch. So is the chain guy.
I roll a 18 plus 2.
You pass. You are no longer feared.
Ooh.
Yeah, you're not sure what came over you, but all of a sudden,
But I know I saw something terrifying.
that drow was the scariest thing you've ever seen. Maybe it reminds you of when you were a kid with your mama dwarf and the wooden spoon. I don't know. So I guess that you would have used just your movement. So you have an action and a bonus action left. What do you want to do?
Okay.
Oh, I missed something from the spell. You dropped your axe. Yep. Every creature in a 30-foot cone must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or drop whatever it is holding and become frightened for the duration.
That sucks.
My apologies.
Perfect. So, if you so desire, you could get back to your axe and pick it up.
I would very much like to do that.
Okay.
I named her Goldie.
So you get back to your huffing and puffing, and you get back to Goldie and scoop it back up, and all of a sudden the drow doesn't look quite as terrifying as she did a few seconds ago.
I feel safer with my axe
It's a
now.
lot more bloody.
And also the drow is looking kind of beat up at this point.
Yeah. Would I still have an action to be able to defend her?
No, you actually had to use your action to move back to kind of dash.
I understand.
So that brings us to the top of the order.
Well, I do have a question. If I disengage, would I then be able to run away without fear of being attacked again?
Yes, if you take the disengage action, you can use your movement and not draw any attacks of opportunity.
Okay, then as a bonus action, I would like to merge with my raven and turn into a raven myself, and then disengage and fly straight up.
Okay, so you absolutely do that. Let me see one thing real quick. Okay, and that wound from the glaive or from the fork is bleeding, and you take 5 points of damage.
Oh god. Oh, and I need to do a con check to try and pass off the poison?
Yes.
No.
All right, so you're still poisoned.
I'm still poisoned.
All right, John, what are you doing? Oh, wait a minute. Where do you go? You have your movement. You fly up.
Would I be able to fly out of sight over a building? I'm unsure how far away Raven can fly, actually.
Yeah, actually you are, and it's actually a little bit easier because a lot of the buildings, the rooftops aren't generally accessible because they're so close to the top of the cavern. But being a raven, you can fit in like the nooks and crannies without too much problem. If you were to turn back into a drow, you could fit, but you'd have to lay down on the roof.
I am a tiny creature. I can fit.
Yes.
Okay, so I would currently be hiding in between the cavern and the building. Out of sight, out of mind.
All right, so next that brings us to John.
Okay, so I'm going to use, even though this is all I can do this turn, I'm going to enlarge myself.
Okay, so yeah, you cast enlarge and you get big.
Yes.
I have like 50 feet.
Okay, and that would be it because that's an action.
Okay, so with the one hound has run off, the guy with the chains has run off. There's one hound left, and he will turn towards, let's see, the dwarf and the two bearded devils. So one of them will go at the paladin, and the other one will go at the dwarf. So we're going to go to the dwarf first. So glaive attack or pick attack comes in, hitting a 23.
It does hit.
The beard comes in and misses horribly as it tries to like rush in and put its beard in your face. It's really creepy. And the hound attempts to bite you. And I believe that's going to be a 17. I believe that misses you.
Yes, it does miss.
Give me a Constitution save.
All right. Each one plus 7, and that would be an 8. Ooh.
All right.
So, yeah, I just rolled a 1.
So, all right. So you get one of those infernal wounds that's bleeding. You take 5 points of damage. And so a military pick comes in at the paladin. That is going to be a 9. Oh, but a 19 on the die for some beard rash. You don't know if the damages are worse or the skeeviness is worse. But you take 5 points as it takes his beard and kind of like puts it in your face. Give me a saving throw, Constitution versus poison. That's you, John.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry. So, Constitution save, correct?
Constitution save, yep.
That would be a 12.
So 12, okay, you're not affected by the poison, but you did take the 5 points of damage. It's like having Brillo rubbed against your face.
I don't like that. Okay.
All right, the dwarf is up. What are you doing?
All right, so I have a dog and a devil on me, right?
That is correct.
Okay. I think I want to try and put down the dog.
Bad doggy.
Yep. So I'm going to swing into him. First one being, say, a 19 to hit,
Oh, absolutely.
a 24 to hit, and the third one. The third one's a crit.
That would hit then.
All right. Let's roll damage. The first one deals 9 damage.
Okay.
The second one, 11. And the third one, 2d12s plus 7. And that's 22 damage on the third hit.
All right. You with that third strike, you end the last hound. How do you do it?
I would like to plunge my axe in that dirty thing's back.
All right. So your axe just whips out in figure 8 motions, slamming into this thing time and time again until on the final one, it figures 8. You figure 8 with it down, coming all the way back up into a full circle and straight overhead right into its back. Splitting its spine. He's one last yelp, as you pretty much bury your axe through the thing into the ground. Well done. What is our drow friend doing up above?
Seeing if I can pass that con save. Apparently not. I am going to die.
Also, I also need a con save from the dwarf. You also take 10 points at the beginning of the round.
Oh, it's 10 points.
10.
10 for the dwarf, and for you is 4.
Oh, good. I'm down to 10 hit points.
Okay. Oh, you can also if you want to attempt to staunch the wound, you may on your turn.
I roll an 18 on my con save.
All right, so you were good.
Would I be able to staunch the wound as a raven? I think not.
Oh wait, you weren't poisoned, were you? You just had the wound, right?
No,
Me?
I had the
I was
poison
not.
and the wound.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. The drow had poison and the wound, but Trevor only had the wound.
Yeah, and if I did have poison, I probably would have gotten advantage against it because dwarf.
Yeah. So so you didn't actually need to make a saving throw. The wound is something different. You're gonna have to address separately. So you can make a wisdom check in an attempt to try and bind the wound.
Okay, would that be for me?
Well, because you're still in combat, that would be an action to do.
Understood.
Oh, there goes my dice. Oh, I'm dropping everything. Yeah, you know what? I will attempt because I need to try and stop dying. Does a wisdom 21?
Oh yeah, you're totally good.
Yay! That is one thing not killing me now.
So you're not bleeding out anymore. So that is your action. You still have a move if you wish to use it.
In between the roof and the cabin, can I try and fly up along the street to somewhere where it might be a little bit more of a vantage point?
Oh yeah, you can do that.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna fly 50 feet in that direction.
Okay.
To where I might be able to get a vantage point and spy them more easily.
And what is our paladin doing?
Okay, so I'm going to try hitting the dog with my staff again.
Oh, there's no dog left.
Oh crap!
The one ran away and one was just murderated. But there is the devil in front of you, the bearded devil.
Oh, I'm gonna smack it. And that would be a 18 to hit.
Oh yeah, that absolutely hits.
Okay.
Is your staff magic by chance?
Oh yes, it is.
Okay.
And on top of that, I'm going to use one of its abilities to deal an extra d6 of force damage to it.
Okay.
So that is that. So 14 damage.
Okay.
And that would be my turn.
Okay. So, seeing that their leader has run off, this one of the dogs has run off. The other one has had his spine split in twain. They seem to be losing their stomach for this fight, and they are going to withdraw. And they will take the disengage action to do such.
Oh.
And they will move 30 feet away, ducking around a corner of a building. And hey, when you rolled your damage, did you roll the extra die 4 for being enlarged?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And that will bring us to the dwarf.
Well, seeing as how our opponents just disappeared, and I don't think they're going to be able to provide us much information, I would say that we let them scamper away.
And as you do that, like you notice, like there were some people that were kind of watching on the street, and once you notice them, they quickly move on to whatever it is, whatever they were doing before, and scurry around, or scurry away, I should say.
I think I'd probably like to take my time to staunch this infernal wound I have.
Yeah. So give me a wisdom check, DC 12.
All right.
So we're out of combat now, correct?
That is correct.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. I get a natural 20.
Oh, you're good.
I was asking if I can use a lay on hands on him to heal him.
Yeah, both.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, what?
Both the drow and the dwarf are injured. The drow is the most injured, though.
Yeah, I would definitely heal the drow for me. Plus,
I come fluttering on back, looking like a badly beat raven before turning back to myself and looking even worse.
Okay. And lay on hands. I'm sorry, I've never used lay on hands before. What do I use for the die?
Oh, you don't roll anything. It's just increments of 5.
Oh, okay. I'm going to give him 10 points of health.
Yeah, so it's your paladin level times 5 is your pool.
Oh, okay then.
I am now at 20 hit points.
Hey, things are looking up. You've just doubled your hit point pool.
Hey.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Let's see if I'm free of that poison before he does that.
Oh.
There's a 15 pass.
It does.
Oh, good. Your lay of hands wasn't wasted.
I would have sighed and just walked away. No, just kidding.
Oh, that would have been hilarious. Considering I need a little bit more hit points. Yeah, I'm gonna drink a potion of healing. That's what, 2d4 plus 1?
It's 2d4. It depends on which kind of healing potion you have, actually.
Well, it's a common. 2d4 plus 2. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to chug one of mine as well.
2, 1 of 5, 2. I gain back 6 hit points.
Hey, I got 8.
I am jealous.
I'm pretty good.
Yep.
So, so you guys are kind of standing outside of this place, kind of beat up a little bit.
Out of spite, I move along and kick one of the dogs.
Oh, there's only one there to kick, so it's easy enough, though.
Double kick it.
Yep. No, just gonna kick it out of spite.
I'm just gonna move my laptop over to a charger.
Someone's gonna be fading to black soon. So, what do you gentlemen want to do now? Or so I should
All
say,
right.
gentlemen and gentlewoman.
Weren't we just about to head inside a tavern? Undercity Tavern?
Better be worth it. She is not putting away the rod of away the rod. She is keeping that firmly grasped in her hand.
Well, again, there's another tavern. This one's a little bit shadier than the ones you've been in more recently.
Perhaps we should head to a better part of town. Not sure how much better that part of town will be.
We're in an infernal undercity. There won't be a better part of town.
It's all relevant.
Yeah, so you see a mix of smattering of different races in here. Several creatures that are clearly more monstrous in nature. And behind the bar is a bald goblin with overly large ears and a large round belly hanging down, which isn't completely covered by his shirt. It's kind of like sticking out. His shirt is a bit on the dirty side, and you chaps look a little worse for the wear, especially you, lass.
Not my finest moment.
Well, we can get you fixed right up. What can I get yous?
Well, preferably a stiff drink.
I second that. Something to dull the pain.
Well, we have some dwarven ale. We have elven wine. Gnomish scotch. How about some bugbear brandy?
Bugbear brandy for me, please.
I'd like to also try the brandy, if you would.
So yeah, so he grabs a decanter from the wall, and it is literally shaped like the head of a bugbear, and he begins pouring it. He's like, I don't actually think this was actually made by bugbears. It's too good. So he gives you a sniff, each of you guys a little decanter of them, and here, enjoy.
Oh, she wastes no time in downing her brandy in almost a single gulp.
It's a nice blackberry brandy. It's actually pretty good.
I'd like to take a nice heavy swig of mine.
I just take the time to just catch my breath.
So, is this your first time in Undercity?
This particular one, yes.
Well, I think you're going to find this one is a lot different than any of the other ones you've been to.
I can already see the differences. And feel them for the most part, too.
A lot of Undercities, I've been to a few myself. They can be cold and dank and damp. Not here. It's always nice and warm and toasty. And lively.
Yeah, warm is right.
Definitely lively.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little rough your first time here. They can pick them out every time. They like to give you a hard time. But
Just a small hazing.
But on the plus side, the word's going to get out really fast. So if you gave better than you got, you should be all right from here on out.
That's refreshing.
So what's your pleasure? You looking to make deals? Maybe get a bargain? Or maybe you're looking to make a purchase?
Well, actually, we've come down here looking for a person.
Ah, yes. Everyone comes down here looking for something or another.
Yes, but we are specifically looking for one Liam Moondark. We think he was accompanied by one Shannara female.
Oh.
Yes, both human. The woman in this matter had a dark head of hair.
The Moondarks, they're kind of known to us down here. So, word on the street is Junior was looking for something. Sounds like you might have found it.
Oh, yeah? What was he looking for?
Well, you seen his dad, right? And the striking lack of family resemblance.
Yes, yeah.
I think he's looking to try and fix that.
A way to transform his appearance?
Doesn't seem too wise.
Or, trying to get in touch with maybe with his fiendish heritage. And this is the place to do it. There's always plenty of bargains to be made down here. Maybe you want a bargain. Perhaps if you make the right deal, they'll bring you right to this Liam fella.
Yeah, do you know a place where these bargains are usually made?
They happen all the time, all over the place down here. But, you said Shannara. She's a bit of a classy lady. She's going to be in the better part of the city. I mean, it's hard to tell, but there is a better part, believe it or not. See, those here that made the city, they try and make it kind of like up above, but they don't quite get it right. They don't have quite the same sensibilities of the mortals from this realm. So it always ends up a little skewed, but there is their own kind of nobility or aristocrat neighborhood down here that you could check out. Shannara, she's kind of well known. It probably wouldn't be too hard to find her home. But
is there any more you can tell us about this Shannara?
She's been down here and making deals for a long time, longer than I've been here. And I was born here and raised here, left and came back a couple times, but she's always been here.
I ask, how do we get to the better part?
Oh, that's easy, and he gives you directions. Yeah, I might know where you might find her, but it's my neck on the line. And he kind of drops his voice down low.
I think we can make it worth your time, though.
What do you have in mind?
Well, I would imagine that you, as many people down here, partake in the pleasure of coin.
Well, it'll spend here just as easily as anywhere else. So what are you thinking? It's a pretty hefty thing you're asking for.
Hey guys, how much coin should we give this guy?
How much coin do we actually have?
We could pull some coin together.
You guys are 12th level. You guys will have some coin.
Yeah.
25 silver.
Oh, that is far too low, honey. 25 gold pieces would be more akin.
I flip a coin. Well, that's my goal.
Yeah.
Well, I guess for 25, I could tell you. I could tell you the neighborhood at least.
I'd like to dig through my medium to large size pouch from all my mercenary jobs and pull out probably another 25, 30 pieces.
Ah, now you're talking. And,
So I'm throwing in 25. I don't know how much our druid friend is throwing in, and you're throwing in another 30, was it, Trevor?
Yes.
Okay.
So, so he scribbles down on a piece of paper and slides it your way, an address. It's 1313 Black Sun Lane.
Okay. Interesting.
I'd like to accept the piece of paper.
So, with that, can I get you anything else to drink? You seem to put it hurting on that brandy awfully quick. He still look like he's got some bruises and some lumps.
I need anything that can possibly fix me up.
Well, I can certainly fix you up with some stuff. You guys can hang out here long enough for a short rest if you wanted to.
I will take the short rest.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think we should.
So
Definitely
whatever
do that.
healing hit die you want to spend, feel free to spend them. You know, it only takes an hour for you to kind of hang out, sip some brandy or some wine.
1, 2, 3, 4. What's it? 9 plus 9 plus 1 plus 6, 25.
Yep. That's 3 hit die down for me, and I'm full health.
That was 5. 6. $59. Oh, I just spent half my hit die to get Mercer back up to full. And yeah, my character would probably purchase another Buckbane brandy because that was tasty.
It's a good call, man. You can't spend it if you're dead.
That is true.
I don't plan to die just yet. Well, we now have a direction for the Shannara. This is going to be dangerous, to say the least. 1313 Black Sun Lane at the nicest part of the city.
Well, with my health restored and my thirst quenched, I'm ready to depart when everybody else is.
Yeah. I think so.
Yep.
So
Aye, let's get a move on.
So you guys, you ask for a quick set of directions, and within no time, you guys find yourself on the street where you need to be. You can see kind of where the addresses are. You know, it's not far away. Is there any preparations or anything you want to do?
I suppose I would have my Raven fly up and about as best it can to try and get a better idea of the general layout of the area. Try and find any high point advantages, and more specifically, try and see what building we're looking for. And he nearly said lair, so this is going to be taking interest in the most ominous looking ones.
Well, I mean, they're clearly marked. It's easy to find, and it is, it's a large house is what you find. It's a three-story affair. Outside in the front, there is a huge stained glass circular window with depicting a scene that looks like something straight out of Hellraiser.
I have no idea what that is.
I just,
I thought that as soon as I said, I'm like, they're all too young to even know what Hellraiser
oh, no,
is.
I know. I give a look of disgust at the place, sigh, shake my head, and then brace for whatever's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of windows. There's, it's on a small lot, so there is a little bit of a yard in front and around and behind it. Between this house and like another house, are kind of close together.
Oh, you know what? For better or for worse, I cast Detect Magic to try and see if there's like any buildup of wards and things like that. And just trying to see if there's any general magic upon the building itself.
There is. The walls are marked and warded.
Could I use Divine Sense?
Oh, sure. You absolutely can. You're when you unleash your Divine Sense, your head nearly explodes because there's just, it reads fiends all over the place.
I sit on the ground just like holding my head like, ow.
You do get a couple blips for undead, but like
No.
They're awash of all the fiendish presences.
Ophelia gives you a very patronizing pat on the head. That was not a smart idea.
I shake in a shame and agree.
Well, myself, I'm not too interested in all this hocus pocus you guys are sending off into the air, so I'm just gonna watch.
Yeah, do be wary of the walls, darling. They're warded. Don't know what with, but they could prove to be dangerous. Or to stop things from getting in and to stop things from getting out, more than likely.
So, so what is it the three of you are going to do?
I assume that we're gonna start to head in.
You go into the front door?
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah, my raven returns back to my shoulder.
All right, who, so you're going to try and just open it? Who's going to do that?
I want to knock.
Oh, that works.
You can.
Yeah. You know.
We are polite adventurers.
So you knock, and after a while, you know, you hear some noises, some jostling inside, and a woman answers the door that kind of looks like Elvira, and is kind of dressed like that as well. She has a large tarantula like crawling on her shoulder.
Oh, that's terrifying.
I bird eyes it hungrily.
Oddly enough, it also eyes your bird hungrily. Yes. Hello. What can I do for you? I wasn't expecting any guests today.
Considering I would still have any detect magic up, would I sense anything from the woman, and more particularly, would I sense anything from the spider, which I believe to be familiar?
Yes. They both radiate magic.
Marvelous.
I tell her sorry for, the intrusion, but we're looking for someone, and we'd like to know if you know anything.
And who might that be? People come to me looking for things all the time. Is there something particular you need, young man?
For one, Shannara.
Yes, that would be me. So you found me, but you good sir, see, dwarf, you seem to have me at a disadvantage. For I do not know your name.
Oh, yes. My apologies. My name is Brahmer Hiltek.
Brahmer Hiltek. Well, pleased to meet you. And what business brings you here to the Undercity and to my humble abode?
Well, we've been looking around for quite a while, talking to people and stuff. And, well, we were hired by one Jacob Moondark. I'm sure you may know the name. And we were looking for his son, Liam. And we figured that you might have some information for us.
Oh, Liam. Yes, I know the young man quite well.
Okay, have you spent any time with him recently in the last few days?
She kind of gives you a crooked smile and smirks. You could say that, but I don't know how that's any of your business, really.
Oh, I certainly meant no such... okay, moving on.
So...
Well, go ahead.
So the little ass's father has sent you looking for him, has he?
Well, yes, he's very worried.
She rolls her eyes.
Yeah, we figured he may have come down here and gotten himself into a little bit of trouble. We were hoping that you may be able to help us find him.
The young man is an adult. He can do as he pleases.
Being an adult does not stop them from being children.
Yes, but his father's a much bigger adult.
That is all relative. So what is it you wish from me?
information, a new direction, and possibly wondering if you knew if you found a method of correcting a wrong and joining his father's side. And
Joining his father's side.
we are aware he was searching for a way of showing his infernal heritage more so than his current.
Do you object to that?
I do not.
Apparently, it's just a young man wishing to connect with his roots.
And that is understandable, but that is also something many can take advantage of. Were you one of those people?
Take advantage of. I have not taken anything. I have merely offered my services in return.
And what services may that be?
Well, I'm a procurer of bargains and deals for my lord. Is there something you need or you would like? Perhaps you'd like to capture the heart of a nice dwarf lass who has shunned you. Or perhaps you'd like to be taller or shorter. We can help you with these things.
Well, it certainly does sound, it sounds very tempting, but I would have to know who your lord is first, though.
Ah, yes. Well, of course we follow the esteemed ways of Asmodeus.
Interesting.
So again, go ahead.
I was gonna say, can I do an insight to see if she's lying? Like, see if I can get her kind of feel.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's in particular, but I think she's trying to mislead us, to say the least.
22?
A 22. You know what? You feel like her words are full of half truths.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna give her like that kind of like smirk, like smile.
So, if there's nothing else, I will see you gentlemen away then.
You're one that deals in bargains and deals. Then what deal would it take for you to be honest with us in finding Liam Moondark?
Oh, well, yes. One of you could take his place instead.
Oh, yes? And what was he doing? What place would we need to take?
Well, he's fulfilling the bargain so that he can get what he desires.
And what was that?
He wishes to be like his father. He wishes to show his proud infernal heritage, of course.
No, I mean, what are you having him do?
Oh, he must merely sign the contract, and at the end of the terms, he will just have to offer up payment as is required. You know, this standard stuff.
Does that payment have to do anything with eternal servitude?
It might, but no one's forcing him to do anything.
I'd really prefer this not to get violent.
Ah, yes, so would I. I just had the carpets done yesterday. It would be a shame.
I agree. The dwarf would like to force a smile.
And so then you hear a small voice from behind her as a little goblin comes like trotting out and peering around her hip. Mistress, is there a problem here?
You say you want one of us to take his place. I would like to see the contract to see if it's worth it.
Very well. We could absolutely do that. Of course, come in. Come right this way, and she leads you through the foyer into a office that is nicely furnished with bookshelves and a nice dark mahogany desk, which she goes and sits behind and begins pulling out a folder with with papers in it, and opens it up, turns it around, and pushes it to you. And it's written in common.
I use detect magic. Well, or I still use detect magic at this rate.
I
will abuse it.
It absolutely reads of magic. And
is it something akin to a usual Fernal contract of some kind?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, no surprise here.
Yeah, it's like clearly a Warlock Pact contract, and upon completion, at some point, the signee will turn over their soul as per the arrangements. And Liam's signed it. Clearly, someone named Liam has signed it.
Someone named Liam has signed it. Upon completion, but what would need to be completed to begin with to actually for him to lose his soul?
Oh yes, well, he wants to be remade into the image of his father and forefathers, and at some point and hopefully in the far distant future, when Liam passes from this mortal coil, his obligation will then be fulfilled to my lord.
I see nothing wrong with this contract per se. He signed it willingly, probably with a bit of coercion. She gives a knowing look towards what was her name? Sinadra.
I assure you, there is no coercion necessary. She kind of like wiggles in her seat a little bit.
Then, pray tell, where is he currently? I will not stand opposed to this particular contract. I have made similar of my own.
He's upstairs. We were actually just getting ready to perform the ritual.
Oh.
So I feel like the only one who might have a problem with this ritual will be the paladin.
The paladin is silently gritting his teeth. I ask her to bring him down if he's in fact here.
Oh, that is highly unlikely right now. We cannot do that. I can bring you up. You can witness the ritual if you like.
Okay. What would it take for us to go see the ritual?
Well, follow me. You're not going to try and interfere, are you?
Me
No.
personally, I have no need to.
I warn you. And she waggles a finger in your direction. Zip here will be watching. And she points to the goblin. He's a very scrawny little creature. Comes up to about her hip.
I look back at him.
And he gives you a hard look, but it's kind of hard to take it serious because he comes up to he just comes up to your waist.
Is there more of an aura of magic coming from him?
You're detecting. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's quite the magic. There's quite an aura coming from him.
Yep.
Transmutation.
Oh.
Oh, yep. I had a feeling. Damn my hunches.
So she leads you to the third floor, and it's actually literally where that huge circular stained glass window is kind of like overlooking. The whole third floor is just one big room, and there's an altar on the far side, away from the stained glass window, and in front of that altar there is a stone slab, some dark made of some dark material. Perhaps like onyx or obsidian or something. There's sconces all over the place, placed in a circle, and there's all kinds of runes etched in the floor, and there's a large red circle on the floor as well. And there you see this lanky, tall human with long blonde hair, naked from the waist up, He's strapped to the table, kind of arms and legs akimbo, and he also has these dark rituals and runes etched upon his flesh as well. And he seems to be kind of in a bit of a fever state. And there's also some not cauldrons, but incense burning and braziers all around. It's slightly smoky in here. We're just about to complete the ritual, and then Liam can go home if he wishes, or do whatever he likes. He can stay.
Just give me a second. I'm gonna track down a spell. Let's see. How does True Sight work in casting?
It'll let you see any kind of illusions and things, how they actually are.
Oh, cool. So I can literally just cast it. That's the one thing I was interested in. Before I do this, I turn to the paladin. I wish to try and roll an intimidate check. Because I know he's going to cause trouble.
What?
Okay, so 8 plus 19. 27.
Oh, 8 plus 19?
27. There, 19 plus 8 rather. I rolled a 19. I get plus 8 to it.
Okay, I was gonna say that's a high bonus.
Against intimidation.
So I would make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no. That is a no.
I place a single finger upon the paladin's chest and go, "You wait downstairs."
I go downstairs. I silently shut the door behind me and go downstairs.
I turn back. I was like, there will be no interruptions. By the same token, I hope you don't.
Okay, so he goes downstairs and shuts the door, and what are you doing now?
I'm asking permission to watch with eyes unhindered. So basically, I want to know if I can be allowed to watch the ritual with True Sight on.
I see no reason. If that's what you want to do, you may witness it.
I sit off to one corner and I cast True Sight.
Okay.
I take out my Book of Shadows, have a quill, and start writing down details.
Okay, so what the first thing you notice is there's this huge hulking figure, wolf-like creature that is superimposed upon the tiny goblin. It looks like a wolf with long, gray, shaggy hair, with the one difference being that its front paws are more like claws of a humanoid type beast, or like a bear even, and the face of the wolf looks more like the goblin than it does a wolf. The woman, Shannara, stretched out behind her huge black feathery wings, and you can see before where you were seeing all this naked flesh, you actually see she's wearing a suit of full plate armor covering everything, and the only place that you can actually see any flesh at all is on her face, and her
about her. I am interested.
Her visage has a slightly fiendish cast to it, just ever so slightly, and she also has a wicked looking whip coiled at her hip, as well as a sword in a scabbard. And the spider, that large spider you see, is actually a little devilish figure. You would recognize it as an imp immediately.
I look across the dwarf. If you make trouble, I will not help you.
Oh, I'm most definitely not stepping in now.
So
I don't tell him what I see. I just say that.
So you guys, after about 15 minutes of her chanting and making motions in the air, Liam begins to howl, and he arches up so far and violently, it's almost like you expect his spine to snap at any second, and his whole body is shaking and quivering. Then you see the skin and the flesh begin to bubble and ripple, as if made from liquid, as as his countenance begins to change, his skin becomes a bright red color with streaks of purple. He's got these runes. The runes that were etched upon his body begin to glow in a silver color, and they become tattoos. Horns burst from his skull. Different than his father's, more like a satyr's or a goat's. Straight, slightly curved and pointy, dark as ebony. His knees they snap and break the opposite way, as the knee structure completely changes and kind of transposes itself. His feet begin to kick and shake, and then the next thing you hear is the clatter of hooves on this against stone. As they kind of like shrivel in and on themselves and become hard and hoof-like. And then finally, he kind of like rolls to a side and curls into a fetal position, hunching over as a long prehensile tail kind of like pushes through the top of and shoots out the top of his trousers, and he's just kind of laying there, panting, breathing hard, and then Shannara sighs. It is done. Take him away.
Oh, his dad's gonna be pissed.
We were told only to bring him back, not that he had to be in the same form he last saw him in.
I don't think he's gonna recognize him as his son. We were told to bring back his son.
And we are bringing back his son. Oh,
Very
Shannara,
well.
you don't mind if we have a copy of the contract, do you?
He already has a copy.
Marvelous.
What kind of businesswoman do you take me for? I'm not some shyster from the abyss, you know.
And I do apologize. I didn't mean to insinuate such. Merely I was hoping to have some proof to display that this is his son.
Well, he is wearing the signet ring still. And we do have the contract. He has his copy of the contract, of course.
Very well. Well, if you've been so kind as to help along. I am not one of physical labor.
Oh, you want me to carry that thing?
Well, we could always ask the paladin, but I think you know how that will go down.
Zip brings over some like hooded robes to put on him, and he also has like some of his other clothes and stuff. He brings the robes just because it's probably easier to put it on him, and he has some other things, like another pile of probably the clothes he wore in here. Sitting on top of it is a set of boots. He kind of looks at him, tilts his head, grabs the boots off the pile and just kind of throws them over his shoulder, and then hands the pile of clothes to you.
Well,
Curious. While the ritual was going on and I was banished, was there anyone else down there with me, like watching me?
No, there wasn't.
Can I see if there's anything that looks valuable that might not be missed? Possibly.
Do you which skills do you have that might help you with praise?
That's a good question. None that would help. Athletics, religion, insight, perception, intimidate.
I will let you make an insight check, but using your intelligence modifier.
Oh, thank you. That is a 18.
Oh yeah, there's definitely some small babbles that look to be valuable. As to whether or not it'll be missed or not, that you're not entirely sure, but they are smaller.
Well, I mean, the smaller the better. I'm just gonna pocket some, just casually reach over and grab a few small things.
Okay, so you find some like knickknacks, statuettes, small statuettes, things made of some strings, stonework and crystal that you're able to pocket.
Okay. Also, one final thing for me, and then I'm done. Can I also have see invisibility? Can I use that to see if I see anything else?
So you cast see invisibility. You look around, and you do see you do actually see several. They look like statues or suits of armor that are just kind of standing there. And it seems really odd to you that they would have been. They would have been hidden with invisibility.
Well, clearly she hid them for a reason. Not gonna touch them.
So soon after your two companions come down, the dwarf and the drow, dragging with them a tiefling who you're very unfamiliar with, and does not look like the description of Liam Moondark at all.
I look at the warlock and I give him that like disappointed like uncle kind of look.
The dwarf's cursing to himself that he doesn't know how to get the smell of sulfur out of his clothes.
I sigh.
What's done and done, and for what it's worth, we would not have lived if you decided to cause trouble.
I may have not decided. A little bit.
And behind you, Shannara comes like sauntering down the stairs. She looks a little flush, as if she had just been doing something physically very vigorous. For my new friends, may I call a carriage, perhaps?
I look immediately at what price.
None. A bargain well struck is a bargain well done. I am quite pleased, as shall my lord be.
So no strings attached.
No strings attached. She has a more valuable prize. We will accept the carriage, thank you.
So yeah, so with that, you don't have to deal with, dragging Liam through the streets, and you're able to take a nice carriage ride. Although, as far as the smell of sulfur, that part doesn't help very much because the beast pulling the carriage itself seems to be wafting it in your direction. So your nose is full of the stuff. By the time you're taking to the edge of the city, it doesn't take you no time at all. You find yourself back at Moondark and Associates, and
we're here.
His personal assistant that is out in the lobby leads you back, and she's kind of giving nervous glances to all of you, and the
tracking the tiefling.
And the tiefling you're dragging in. He's finally like coherent now, and he's kind of like staggering along with you, but he seems a little bit out of it. And you guys are led into the room, and when he sees his father in front of him, he kind of lurches forward out of your grasp, and then takes a couple unsteady steps and kind of like staggers to his knees, falling and throwing back the hood. Father, you'll be proud of me now. Finally, for once, you'll be proud of me. And Jacob Moondark looks down upon his son, and then looks up at the three of you.
I immediately swing in back and take a step back.
I cast my eyes away.
What has transpired here?
You did.
Well, if Liam has the contract upon him, I would go to take the contract and place it before Jacob.
So Jacob takes it. What is this? And begins like spreading out the papers and reading it. Oh boy, you damn fool! What have you gotten yourself into now? I don't care what you looked like. I just wanted you to do something with your life and not be such a lazy layabout and hanging out with those good-for-nothings. And then he kind of stops himself as he realizes this is just kind of berating him in front of strangers. Essentially, he opens a deep drawer, pulls out 3 sacks of gold, and throws them to you. Ugh, just get out of my sight.
I take the gold and I leave.
Keep my eyes low.
Ophelia has absolutely no problem with what has transpired. She has followed the job exactly. She was hired to get the son and bring him back. She did that.
That is true. So you guys head out, and you hear shouting from the room behind you as you shut the door. Muffles it somewhat. The assistant, an older woman, is kind of seems to be like trying to bury herself in her work as you guys leave, cringing every time she hears one of the shouts and the yells. With that, we will end things there for this evening. I want to thank you guys for hanging out and playing.
Thank you.
I want to thank everyone in the chat who's been hanging out and watching this whole time. And that was Into the Furnace. So until next time, guys, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Until next time.